Hey everybody, Paul Eston Jr., aka Boy Green. Before we get into any Jets talk like we would on any other show, I want to address some rumors that were floating around on social media. You guys may have seen my statement on a couple of different social media portals. I just wanted to clarify a few things and start the show in that way. Like I said, there was a lot of rumors going around on social media yesterday, and I wanted to address them here. They accused me of inappropriate behavior, and like I said, I want to just put the facts out there before we get into the Jets talk. A decade ago, I was in a consensual relationship with a coworker, and they didn't want the relationship to end. She ended up making up lies and false allegations years later in 2020 to attempt to end my career. And my former employer investigated all of those claims that the woman made and determined there was no wrongdoing. I was not fired. I chose to leave my employer several years ago. So I did just want to kind of address this off the top. Some of you people on YouTube aren't on social media, so you have no idea what I'm talking about. But there was a lot of crazy rumors that were going around yesterday. And I just want to say that I think it's really sad in 2024 that people are guilty until proven innocent. Some crazy made up accounts throwing all kinds of crazy rumors out there that aren't true and are categorically false. And, my reputation, I enjoy doing this. And for stuff like that to go out there and for people to believe it unquestionably just believe things that were out there. I just wanted to make sure, like I said, on this platform, I threw a statement out in a bunch of places, but I wanted to make sure I address it. I don't plan on addressing this further. I tried to answer all your frequently asked questions that were going on there. Again, it's 2024, as someone's saying in the comments. This happened, this consensual relationship happened a decade ago. And the woman involved was not happy with how it ended. She didn't want it to end. And she held on to something to try to end my career and make up false lies and allegations and all kinds of things in 2020. And she was unsuccessful in trying to end my career. So wanted to throw all that out there. Want to give you guys the facts of what happened. And that's it. I come on this show to talk all things New York Jets and to have fun. And hopefully you guys get to enjoy all the commentary and everything that we get to do on this show. Because I do. But when things like this come out, and again, I normally like to stay in my lane of Jets, but when stuff like this comes out, I have no other choice but to lay the facts out there on the line. Again, I don't plan on addressing this any further. I've given you guys the facts. I will refer you back to that statement that's out on all my social media platforms. You guys can check that out if you have any other questions. So again, I know a lot of you, I'm seeing all kinds of people here in the comments that are saying that they don't have social media, so they don't understand what I'm talking about. But it was so rampant, so there, that I had to address it. I couldn't possibly ignore it. And so I have. All right, with that being said, there's no proper segue into this, but it's time to talk some Jets football.
Zoinks! But it is unequivocally the Super Bowl for New York Jet fans.
Field Yates, baby. Field gosh darn Yates. Let's bring him on the show.
Come on, people. Connor Rogers is joining the show. What's up, Connor? But Trevor gosh darn Sycamore, baby, for me, personally, my favorite New York Jet of all time.
Wow, it's great to be on. What an intro that was right there.
Paul, nobody does an intro like you, man.
Paul, you give the best intro of literally any podcast that I've ever been.
I'm gonna lose my gosh darn bananas.
Hey everybody, Paul Eston Jr., aka Boy Green, New York Jets digital reporter for Heavy.com. Welcome to Boy Green Daily, a daily New York Jets video show talking all things New York Jets. Also available wherever you get the audio-only version of the podcast. Feel free to do that as well. Welcome to the program. Welcome to a Friday edition of the show. No Italy Jet. He will hopefully be returning next week. We have Hop on Pop with my father. coming up on Saturday. And you people have been asking for it. You want him to orchestrate a mock draft, and he will be doing that. I'll be pressing all the technical mumbo jumbo to help out my father, but he will be making all the picks for the New York Jets. So we will see if that is indeed the case. We'll see how he does. You guys will be able to grade him after he completes his mock draft coming up on Saturday. A lot of big news to get into, but the big one for the New York Jets, like the addition for the New York Jets. Well, I guess I'll start with the loss, if you want to call it that, is tight end CJ Uzomah ends up signing a deal with the Philadelphia Eagles. Now, for a moment, I'm like, whoa, is that the comp pick bingo? So for people who don't understand, when you lose free agents, you have a chance to get compensatory picks. Now, the Jets haven't gotten a bunch in years up until this offseason when they got 3, a 6th and 2 7ths. That's because of the free agents they lost versus the free agent you gained. It's a complicated formula. The gist is that you kind of get some extra help, some extra picks. The Jets got a couple of late rounders, but with losing Bryce Huff to the Philadelphia Eagles on a 3-year deal for $51.1 million, the Jets have a chance, or had a chance, or still have a chance, to get a price that is higher than they've gotten in a long time. And that's a 2025 fourth. But what the Jets need to happen is one more Jet free agent to sign elsewhere on an eligible contract. And then all of a sudden, it'll happen and it'll come together. So the guys to keep an eye out for, because CJ Uzomah does not count if you cut the player. They don't count towards the comp pick bingo. Jets cut CJ Uzomah, so that one signing with the Eagles does not count. And then you go to the other two that are out there. Mekhi Becton has had some visits, and also Carl Lawson just visited the Miami Dolphins this week. So you're rooting for one of those two to sign, but they have to sign before the NFL draft. I think the date's like April 28th. The actual draft starts on the 25th, but they have to sign before that 28th date for it to count. If not, then the Jets won't get this comp pick that they're hoping for. So fingers crossed, and hopefully that they can, because, losing Bryce Huff is what it is. But to get a future 4th round pick, which will be a 2025 4th, could only help the pile. So we'll see indeed if the Jets can do that. So on the CJ Uzomah front, that one doesn't count. Cool for Uzomah. I'll be honest, I was wrong on that one. They signed him. I thought it was a little rich at the time, but I liked the leadership. I liked that he was on this team with the Bengals that had losing seasons, had winning, and I thought, oh wow, this might be the right guy to kind of have in the room. But obviously the Jets 3-year, $24 million deal. He got more money than Tyler Conklin did, and he was a blocker. He didn't really contribute much, statistically speaking. Quite frankly, if you're being honest, he didn't contribute much in Cincinnati either. He was never this world beater from a statistical perspective. But he was someone that I thought was an interesting ad a couple of years ago. The Jets, remember, they pivoted. They invested $45 million in that free agency of that offseason, because $21 million for Conklin, $24 million for Uzomah. Bing, boom, bam. That's math, baby. That $45 million plus. If you also remember, they also invested in the number 101 overall pick in that as well. So then they had after ignoring the tight end position for like a decade since Dustin Keller, they turned around and they were able to fully invest into it. We'll see if any more investments potentially come. With Brock Bowers, perhaps. We could get into that perhaps a different time, or maybe there'll be a question or something later that we can address. And then on Ashtyn Davis, I think I think it was what's today, Friday? I think it was this past Sunday was my Ashtyn Davis episode, where I explained to you guys why I wanted Ashtyn back. A really good special teamer, and I thought that was really important with the loss of Justin Hardy. So you get Ashtyn Davis back in there for special teams, which I think is critically important. And he led the team in takeaways this past season. He had 3 picks, that was career high. He had 3 fumble recoveries, played big nickel, only played in 19% of the defensive snaps, yet he had a career year. So Ashtyn Davis was balling. So it's great to have him back. He was seeking an opportunity to start, and I don't blame him for that. But if you look at the safety market, guys like Justin Simmons and a lot of these big names were out there, and they weren't finding homes. So I think Ashtyn read the room and said, oh boy, I know I want to start in gig, but if I don't just wait, if I'm Ashtyn Davis and I continue to wait, then he could miss out on the Jets because the Jets could say, all right, Ashton, if you're not going to sign back, we're just going to draft a guy. And then Ashton would have been screwed. He wouldn't have been able to come back at least, even with whatever contract he ended up getting this time. So it's smart on Ashton and say, all right, before this draft, I'm not seeing what I want out here in the market. I know what I get with the Jets. Let me keep rebuilding my value. I'm coming off a career year, and the Jets defense supposed to be awesome. You have Aaron Rodgers. Not a bad play. Ashtyn Davis. And I've loved Ashton for a long time. I loved when the Jets drafted him. This athletic piece of clay. He's a track athlete. He cycled into the Jets facility during his rookie year. I don't know if he continues to do that, but Ashton's awesome, man. And he got into football late. He went to Cal and he was a track guy. They said, yeah, I'll walk onto the football team, and then ends up being a third-round pick. Imagine if he would have been doing football well before college. How much higher of a draft pick could he have been? So still raw in a lot of ways, and we've seen that throughout his career, and a lot of people bashed him for it. And when he had poor tackling angles or things of that nature, he just didn't have the football knowledge of football 101 in history and experience of playing the position and the sport of football in general, where he was in that way. So to be honest, it's really, really, really cool that the Jets brought him back. It's awesome for Davis. We'll see if we have him on the show. I was going to have, I'll break the fourth wall here. I was going to have Ashton on the show. It was sometime this offseason. I'm pretty sure it was pre-free agency. It would have had to have been. And his agent and everybody were like, we're free agent stuff. We don't want to do anything or make anything happen. So here, we'll just hold off the interview until we see what's going to happen free agency. So I've reached out to the camp, said congratulations, of course, and hopefully we have Ashton on the show. That'd be really cool. So fingers crossed, baby. Fingers crossed. That'd be awesome. So I love Ashton. He's at third safety. I think the Jets check off the safety position off their draft needs list. I think you do that. You have Tony Adams, you have Chuck Clark, but with Jordan Whitehead gone, I think Ashtyn Davis, boop, 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 you lift a little bit up. Now, Chuck Clark didn't end up playing last year, so he's going to eat some snaps. You have Tony Adams, he's a starter, but Ashtyn, I think, is going to get more snaps, certainly more than the 19% he got last year, because he proved himself with the takeaways and being in the right place at the right time and just being very opportunistic with the football. And plus, there's going to be even more opportunities with Aaron Rodgers and having leads and being able to be a little bit more aggressive. So love the move. He Shadow Realm said it. He's a pure athlete. He absolutely is, and I'm excited about him. He's a really, really talented guy, and I think there's more untapped potential there, and I believe the Jets feel that way too. So I love him in Big Nickel. I play that in Madden all the time, so I love Ashtyn Davis in Big Nickel. Hopefully, we could get a lot more of that moving forward. That's how talented Ashtyn Davis is. So Ashtyn Davis back, that checks off safety, quite frankly, off the draft needs list. And now the focus can shift to wide receiver. It can shift to offensive line. You still probably need that QB3 developmental quarterback. That's another part where we can do that as well. That'd be pretty cool. All right, let's answer a couple of questions here. We have Devin on YouTube. Here we go. Do we have a date for the new jerseys yet? The Jets haven't confirmed it, and maybe they won't. Maybe it's just going to drop. The 15th. Today's the 12th. What's the 15th? Let me see the day of the week. What is that? Monday? So Monday, tax day, as people were talking about before. So it is the 15th, Devin, is when the brand and jersey and everything's supposed to drop and also become available for you to purchase, quite frankly, with the draft right around the corner. So it looks like the 15th of April is when that's going to happen. All right. Let me get some other questions here. Ashton is a pure athlete. I love that. Show and coffee. I've never had coffee in my life, but I'm happy for the people that drink coffee. Paul talks Jets. We talk coffee in the comments. That's hilarious. Great to have Ashton back. Go Bears. Yeah, the Cal Bears. Frank, good shout out from you. Again, we're streaming live on the Heavy on Jets page. Thank you to Heavy for supporting the show. YouTube.com/BoydGreen25. And, of course, on Twitter as well. Also, randomly, we got Rome Odunze, baby. We talked about it. I teased it yesterday. You see it on my social media portals. But Rome Odunze, baby, the Washington wide receiver, is joining us on the show. It's coming next week. Okay. But we got all the confirmations this week, so I wanted to tease it. I wanted to throw it out there. So let's try to now. I love when I get a chance to talk to players, and I want them to end up on the Jets. I was already a big fan of Rome Odunze, but now with having him come on the show, okay, we've reached another level, baby. So phenomenal. Let's see. CJ, great guy, terrible tight end. Well, that's probably, I don't know. Like, to be in the league that long, I don't think he could be terrible, but it just didn't work out here. Dave says, why would the signing of Ashtyn Davis excite anyone? He's just an above average special teams player. He led the Jets defense in takeaways. Not Sauce, not DJ Reed, not Bryce Huff, not CJ Mosley, not Quincy Williams, Ashtyn Davis. Why should you be excited? 19% of the snaps led the team in takeaways. I don't know. I'm not going to force you guys to get excited about something you don't want to get excited about, but just want you guys to know that I am a big Ashtyn fan. I explained on the Sunday episode why the Jets should want to re-sign him. He's that important piece to the puzzle. And that's why you bring him in. So, okay, let me keep going on these comments here. Good morning, everybody. You got Tin Star in here. Members of the Boy Green Super Fan Club, feel free to join in. The little money sign on YouTube. If you'd like to join the Boy Green Super Fan Club, small fee every month to help support the show. We appreciate you. The free way to contribute, of course, is by liking the video and hitting subscribe. Feel free to do that. Thank you for all the comments. I appreciate it, everybody. Thank you very much. Appreciate the Jets family being with me. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. You guys are funny. Let me see here. Gator in here. Gator McCluskey. What's up, Gator? Who we had on the show. He called in for the first time, I think it was this week. And again, I think the special team's important. You lost Justin Hardy. So I think having one of those, key special teams guys is important, especially with all the new rules. Let's see. He's a really good special teamer. My father jumps in. Recovering a fumble does not make it a takeaway. Frankly, it means you weren't close enough to play. You weren't close enough to the play to be involved in the tackle. No. That's not how I see it. That is not how I see it. Not at all, I'm afraid. But 6 takeaways. I mean, hey, again, 19% of the snaps. 19% of the snaps. That's the best way to feel about it. Yeah, everyone is trying to Anthony D says, I agree. Ashtyn Davis didn't create these turnovers. He played in a scheme and was fortunate. I would understand 1 or 2 bouncing his way. Like, okay, that has to be luck or something. 6? 6? Come on, people. Let's put some respect on his name for Pete's sake. I mean, honestly. Come on, man. I'm not saying he's the second coming of Ed Reed. I don't want us to go all the way that far on the other side. Definitely don't want to go there, but this isn't the 53rd guy on the roster. It's not the number 1 guy. It's not the 53rd guy. This is a legitimate piece for the Jets. And I think the arrow's pointing up. I don't think we've seen the ceiling of Ashtyn Davis, which to me is incredibly exciting. Plus, it gives you some important depth. There's no question about it. Let me see. Someone's asking about some of Ashtyn Davis's snaps. Stats, excuse me. Let me see. What were the official? I know a couple of them off the top of my head, but let me see. Where was he at? Yeah, at 8 pass deflections. That's actually a really good number. Whoever asked about pass deflections, yeah, there it is, Kevin. Paul, didn't Ashtyn have a good amount of pass deflections? He did, 8. That is a very good number. That's spectacular. I know what was Sauce's in his crazy year was 20-ish, but 8. And again, 19% of the snaps, 8 pass deflections. That means he's getting the hand on the ball a lot. So, yeah, that is great. Yeah, again, arrow pointing in the right direction. Very good. Very good. So, and here's the thing. I will say this, that Ashtyn Davis, in theory, on paper, is the perfect safety for the Jets defense. that he can be the center fielder ball hawk with his track skills and his ability to catch a ball. Got 3 picks last year. There's a career high. Like, all of the bones of the foundation are there for Ashtyn to be a really awesome player. So he just has to continue to develop. He does have that center fielder in baseball / true free safety kind of floating around kind of guy. And if the Jets can get that out of him, shoot, he should be a starter, quite frankly. And who knows? Chuck Clark signed here for 1 year. Tony Adams is on that UDFA contract. And Ashtyn, I assume it's a 1-year deal, but I haven't seen it. So, yeah, let's rock, baby. Let's freaking rock. But the arrow is pointed in the right direction. It is 100% pointed in the right direction there. A true center fielder, John Sauer says it again. I get it. He hasn't proven to be. Like, look at his snap percentages. What are they? I know it's 19% this past year, but it had to be smaller years prior. Let me see. Yeah, so outside of the year where his first 2 years, he played a ton of defensive snaps, but he was both starting and not starting. It was kind of a complicated picture. 2022, he played like nothing on defense anyway. Played special teams great the last 2 years, 75%, 82%. The last 2 years, 19% this past season, 1% the year before. So, and. It takes people different amounts of time. Hassan Reddick, he didn't become this crazy sack artist till year 4. So, like, when people just want to judge people very quickly and just get a basis of information and then judge it. But sometimes people have different paths. They have different stories that get you to the end of the rainbow. So that's the other thing I would say on the Ashtyn Davis critics. Now, you can criticize him, he's not perfect by any means, but this is a really, really good move. It ensures the depth at the safety position, which is really exciting, at least for me. And like I said, now the focus can be shifted to wide receiver and offensive line, where it should be, quite frankly, for the New York Jets. All right, we got 1,000 people in the room today here on the show, so appreciate you guys. Make sure, again, you guys like the video, hit subscribe, join the growing Boy Green Army, baby. And like I said, that Rome Odunze interview is going to be next week. Very much looking forward to that, getting a chance to talk to prospects. It was a year or two ago, got to talk to Devin Leary, which was nice. Or not Devin Leary. Oh, my God. Devin Lloyd, excuse me. Devin Lloyd was the one that I got to talk to a year or two ago, which was cool. And so we're going to get Rome Odunze, which is going to be really, really cool. Can't wait. That's going to be awesome. Well, everybody, we'll sign off early here on Boy Green Daily. I appreciate you. As Devin says, smash that like button, baby. That's a free way all of you guys can contribute on the show. Make sure you guys like the video. Make sure you hit subscribe and join the Boy Green Army if you can. We appreciate you. And like I said, I'll be back on tomorrow morning with my father, and he will be doing a mock draft live here on the show. I will be pressing all the technical gizmo and gadget buttons. So I'm looking forward to that for my father. And then you guys can judge him on the draft. If you guys give him this great grade, I'm really going to, I don't know, I don't want to say upset, but it's going to be like, yeah, why am I even here? But we'll see how he does tomorrow with the old mock draft machine. It should be a lot of fun. Again, I want to say thank you, everybody, for the support, for the love, and everything else. Appreciate you. We'll have to do calls a different time. No calls today. We're just going to hop off. But hopefully we'll get you some calls tomorrow and Sunday, respectively. Looking forward to it. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. And we'll see you tomorrow morning for Boy Green Daily. Take care.